Welcome back to Push the Pace podcast. My name is Sam Phillips.
My name is Tracy. This episode, we're going to be talking about the Eastern Conference off seasons. Last episode, we talked about the West. If you want to go check that one out.
Yeah, we just kind of looked at the offseason grades of each team in the East and predicted their futures to see where they were going.
Yes, sir. Let's get it started. Let's talk hoops. All right, y'all. So today we're going to be starting off with ranking Eastern Conference teams off season, like their key additions and lost. We're going to be starting with the Atlanta Hawks first. They lost John Collins, Aaron Holiday. That is about it. And they drafted Kobe Buffkin, signed Wesley Matthews, and Patty Mills.
Yeah, man. So the Hawks, they're really I can't really tell what kind of game plan they're going with because they have Trae Young, they have DeJounte Murray. They've showed reports of trying to get rid of Clint Capella because they trust Onyeka and Kongwu. They gave up John Collins for dirt cheap, for literally nothing, a starting power forward on their roster for nothing. Yeah. And you wonder what they're doing. You heard they were trying to get Siakam, but the trade smoke for that has kind of died down. I just don't really get what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I think they got caught up in the Siakam stuff when they could have been making more moves. Mm-hmm. But they kind of got themselves in a pickle this offseason and stuck with their team they have now. Really, they have no more moves they can make unless they want to get more role players, get rid of a center, and get more role players.
Yeah, they had the Eastern Conference Finals run a couple years back, and it seems like they've just kind of stuck with that, and they think that they can get back to that level of contention. But it obviously hasn't happened, and I don't see it happening again unless they make some significant moves.
Yeah. If you were to give them a grade, what would you give them?
For their offseason? They didn't really do anything. So,
see?
They got Wesley Matthews. So,
and they kept DeJounte Murray.
But they just dropped John Collins for nothing. So, I'm going to go C+.
C+? I'll probably agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, next we're going to be going to the Boston Celtics. They lost Danilo Gallinari, Blake Griffin, Marcus Smart, and Grant Williams. They drafted Jordan Walsh, traded for Porzingis, and signed Oshae Brissett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Celtics' big lead this offseason was going for Kristaps Porzingis because they feel like that could really fill a hole on the defensive end and give them a third scorer, a third option. But the thing is, did they give up too much for that? Because they have now given up two cornerstone defensive pieces in Marcus Smart, who was a DPOY, and Grant Williams, who guarded most of the other team's best players. So you got to wonder, are they giving up too much for this offensive leap they're trying to take under Joe Mazzulla?
Yeah, it'll be weird to see how their offense works together. And if Porzingis can stay on the court, he's already not able to play right now because of his foot injury. Mm-hmm. But it was huge for them to retain Jaylen Brown, even though it's a huge number.
Huge contract.
Yeah, it's huge for them to keep him. You kind of have to with how their team's built.
And that's a good point that Kristaps Porzingis is injury prone because he's injured every year. I don't think he's played a full season yet in the NBA, so that's something to note.
Yeah, maybe his rookie year.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, next we're going to be going over to the Brooklyn Nets. They lost Seth Curry, Joe Harris, Patty Mills, and Wananobi. They added Darius Baisley, drafted Noah Clowney, signed Dennis Smith Jr., Lonnie Walker, and that's it.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing. I like that they picked up Dennis Smith Jr., and I like that they picked up Lonnie Walker. I feel like they have a lot of great rotational pieces. And the question for the Brooklyn Nets is, will Mikal Bridges be able to take that leap into being a superstar?
Yeah, I think it's starting to look like the 2018 Brooklyn Nets again. It'll be a young team that has a bunch of talent. They just don't have a go-to guy yet. Mm-hmm. And they're going to win some games. They won't go super deep, but they're going to be a fun team to watch right now.
Yeah. How far, Max, do you think they go in the playoffs?
They're going to be a first-round team.
You think they'll be a first-round exit?
Yeah.
I think they're capable of getting second round just because they're so defensive-minded. And I don't know. I feel like Mikal Bridges could really just shock everyone this year. I feel like he could shock the world.
Yeah, and the East isn't as loaded as we think it is now, especially with Toronto. Then 76ers look like they're about to fall apart. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens with them. Next, we're going to be going to the Charlotte Hornets. They lost Kelly Oubre, Dennis Smith Jr., and P.J. Washington. We don't know what's happening with P.J. yet, but sounds like they're not going to give him the money he wants. They drafted Brandon Miller, signed Miles Bridges, signed Frank Ntilikina, and that is it.
Okay, so question number one: why did they draft Brandon Miller over Scoot? Do you think?
They just wanted a better pair next to LaMelo, and
Yeah.
I feel like you can make two guards in the league work right now.
Uh huh.
And I think Scoot's the better player, but they just went fit wise.
Yeah, they did go fit, but is it
Yeah.
gonna come back and bite them
I
though?
don't know.
Because
Michael Jordan drafted him and dipped right after.
he really did. So Hornets is one of those teams that's going to be really exciting because they always are. They
Yeah.
always make all the highlight films, and Miles Bridges is coming back, and we all know the Melo and Miles Bridges combo is fine. It's so fun to watch,
Yeah.
right? Um, but my question is, how many years are they going to do this until Melo asks out?
Yeah. He's he's a player that wants to win, and I don't see Charlotte being a.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to compete that much as he wants to.
Yeah.
He grew up and him and his brothers were always winning. He's going to want to win all the
Mm-hmm.
time. We just got to see how this year goes and see if they're competitive or not.
Mm-hmm. And with Melo as well, like just watching him play, looking at Melo, you can just tell he wants to be on a big market.
Yeah,
And Charlotte's not a big market.
yeah. The best bet for them is Brandon Miller turns into a superstar and they win.
You think that's the only way he stays
I I don't
if they
know.
become competitive?
Yeah, I have no idea. He wants to be at the Lakers. I guarantee it though.
You think you're going to Lakers?
Yeah.
I can see him going there, man.
Alrighty, next we're going to be going over to Chicago. They lost Pat Bev, Derek Jones, and Javante Green. They got Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, and that is it.
Okay, so Bulls. Yet again, they got some free agent point guards, right? Because they're trying to fill the void of Lonzo Ball, who doesn't seem like he's ever going to come back at this point. But listen, Chicago Bulls, it's time to just blow it up, man. It's done. Like, how many years are you going to go with DeMar and Levine combo? I mean, I'm not saying they're not great, but it hasn't worked.
Yeah, they have good pieces. They just don't go together good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've had some great stretches. Like, they've had stretches where it looks like they could be dominant. You know what I mean? But they just don't have the team to pull it off. Like, they just need. I think they need to ship off DeMar. They need to ship off Levine, and they just need to start over because they've tried for this long and it's gotten them nowhere. Like, do you see them even winning 2 games in a series against the Bucks?
No, I do not.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Celtics or any high seeded Eastern team. I just can't see it. I think it's time that they pull the plug.
It's time to blow them up.
It's time to blow them up.
Alrighty, next we're going to be going to Cleveland. They lost Danny Green, Robin Lopez, and that is about it. They added Amani Bates, Ty Jerome, Damian Jones, and Max Stress.
Yeah, so I feel like the Cavs, they had one of the sneakiest off seasons. They had one of the quietest but sneaky good off seasons. Like it was great. They added Max Struss, which is a shooter, and that's what they need on the Cavs right now because they have good big men and they have Darius Garland, who's one of the best playmakers in the league, and you have Donovan Mitchell, who's one of the best scorers in the league. So they just needed shooters, and they added Max Struss to do that, and I think he's going to get a lot of minutes there, and I think it's really going to elevate their team.
Do you think Bates is the steal of the draft?
No,
49th pick?
I do not.
Okay.
I think there's a reason he dropped that low.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not. This isn't a knock on Imani Bates because Duke can hoop, but no, I don't think he's a steal.
All right. Next, we're going to go to the Pistons. They lost R.J. Hampton, Corey Joseph, and they added Joe Harris, Monte Morris, Asar Thompson, and that is about it.
Yeah. So the Pistons, they're a real exciting team, man.
Mhm.
Like, I really like Cade Cunningham. Obviously, they drafted Asar Thompson, who I have high expectations for. I really love Jalen Duren. They re-signed Isaiah Stewart. They're real exciting. I think all they're missing is a star, but I don't think they're going to trade for it. I think they're going to continue trying to get draft picks and developing their team. But they have a great young core. It's very exciting to be a Pistons fan for the future.
And Cunningham, we're probably going to see a full season of him this season.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, he might turn into a star in this league as well.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, next we're going to be going to the Pacers. They lost O'Shea Brissett, Chris Durrett, George Hill, and Gabe York. They added Bruce Brown, which was huge, Obi Toppin, and Jarris Walker.
Yeah, so the Pacers, they were up there with the Cavs with having a great offseason. They picked up Bruce Brown, And then they picked up Obi Toppin to go with their core of already Tyrese Halliburton. They got Benedict Mathurin, who I love, by the way. I think he could be a star. They still have Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Not sure if they're going to move them. Not sure if they're committed to them. It doesn't really seem like they are. But overall, they have a young, exciting team, and head coach Rick Carlisle, who has won a championship already in his career. So the future looks bright in Indiana, and I think they deserve it because they're some of the most loyal fans out there.
Yeah, it's the Miles Turner situation is weird every offseason. They need to make up their mind if they're going to keep him or not because a contender could use them really bad right now.
Yeah, agreed.
Alrighty, next we'll be going to the Miami Heat. They lost Victor Oladipo, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Cody Zeller. They added Thomas Bryant, Jaime, and Josh Richardson, and they got some undrafted free agents as well. Nothing big.
Nothing crazy. Yeah. So I think it's official that the Miami Heat are no longer in that contention circle. I know that's a big thing to say because they were just an 8th seed. No one expected them to go to the finals, but they did. But they just lost Max Struss and Gabe Vincent, which is 2 very big pieces that helped them in both of their runs.
They took some heavy loads during the playoff run out there.
Pause. But yeah, we know that they're still trying to trade for Dame, and we don't know what the package on that looks like yet. We know it probably includes Tyler Herro and some picks, but we don't know what other depth they're going to have to give up, and they've already lost enough already. So even if they do get Dame at this point and have Dame, Jimmy, and Bam, yeah, it's a great big 3, but who else are you going to have around you?
Yeah, depth is huge in the league right now. It's just, do you think Dame moves the needle to win a ring or multiple rings, or would it be worth it?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm kind of trying to say. Like, they don't have no depth, even if they do get them, like Dame, Jimmy, and Bam. Like I said, is a great big 3, but just it's not going to do anything if you don't have the depth around you. You don't have the right pieces around you.
Yeah, that's what I feel like with the Phoenix Suns. Sorry, it's the Eastern Conference podcast, but they have their main guys, but after that, it's just a bunch of minimum players.
Yeah.
All right, next we're going to the Milwaukee Bucks. They lost Javon Carter, Goran Dragic, Joe Ingles, and Wesley Matthews. They added Malik Beasley, drafted Andre Jackson, signed Robin Lopez, and that is it.
Yeah, so the Bucks they lost a couple depth pieces this summer, but they did add a shooter in Malik Beasley, and then they added Robin to go down in the center rotation with his brother Brook. Regardless, the Bucks with a healthy Giannis and a healthy Drew Holiday, they're going to be contenders. In my opinion. I think that they still have a good bit of their depth around them. They just lost a couple pieces this summer, but they did a good job kind of nursing that back to health. So just have to see what they do, if they can stay healthy.
Yeah, the main thing for this offseason for them was keeping Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton, and that was huge. They were able to do both. All right, next we're going to the New York Knicks. They lost Derrick Rose and Obi Toppin. They added DiVincenzo, Nathan Knight, and that is it. Just a bunch of undrafted free agents after.
Yeah, so I really like that the Knicks picked up Dante DiVincenzo. They're adding on to their chemistry with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. And they're kind of just depending on the momentum that they had in the playoffs to carry them, to continue on into this next season. And I don't think it's a bad plan. They had some moments last year where they were looking into trading Julius Randle, maybe Mitchell Robinson. So who knows if they look more into that. But as of right now, I like the Knicks where they're headed. I like the direction that they're going.
Yeah, they're an exciting team to watch. That Villanova chemistry will be good. And it's interesting to see what's going to happen with their centers. I know Mitchell Robinson wasn't happy there last year. See if they keep him around and see just how their chemistry goes with someone not being there. I can't see how that's a good person to have in the locker room.
Yeah.
All right, next we're going to the Magic. They lost Bol, Michael Carter-Williams, and they drafted Anthony Black, Jet Howard, and signed Joe Ingles.
Yeah, so the Magic I kind of put in the same boat as the Pistons. They have a great, young, exciting team. Anthony Black, I think, is going to be a great player in this league. The way he looked in the Summer League was outstanding. He looked poised. He looked under control. He looked like he didn't belong there, which is great. I really like the direction that they're going. They got a lot of good guards. So we'll just have to see where they go from here. And if they decide to keep tanking for picks or if they actually want to trade for somebody. I'm curious, honestly, because they have some good pieces.
Yeah, it was a good pickup with Anthony Black, and they also got Jet Howard. They really focused on the draft this year. They didn't worry about getting some free agents. All they signed was Joe Ingles. It was a good veteran guy. Get these young pieces to mature up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a good future team right there.
Yeah.
All right, next we got the 76ers. Their off season's for sure not done. We don't know what's going to happen with them. But they lost Jalen McDaniels, Shake Milton, and that's about it. They added Mo Bamba, Pat Bev, and that is about it.
Yeah, so I really like the whole Pat Bev Joel Embiid duo because they're both players that's known for getting under players' skin, and I feel like that's going to be must see TV this year. But obviously, elephant in the room, they have Harden on the team still. There's some smoke there. He just called Daryl Morey a liar for whatever reason. We have no idea where he's going to end up, what the Sixers are going to get back, and the even bigger question is Joel Embiid unhappy as well?
Yeah, I saw he removed Philadelphia out of his Twitter bio.
Yeah.
And James Harden came out, I believe, today or yesterday, talking about he's open to going other places other than Clippers. So there's going to be a lot more trade packages now, I bet. And I also saw that team in China's about to send an offer over to buy out James Harden's contract.
Yeah, but I don't think he goes to China.
I don't know.
I think he will. That's something he'll do toward the end of his career.
Yeah.
But as of right now, there's going to be a lot of teams putting in packages for him. I don't think Joel Embiid's going to be happy unless those packages include someone that can come help him right now.
Yeah. All right, next we're going to be going over to the Wizards. They lost Brad Bill, Taj Gibson, James Huff, Quinn Jackson, Monte Morris, Kendrick Nunn, Porzingis, and they added Patrick Baldwin, Jared Butler, Gallinari, Tyus Jones, Jordan Poole, and Landry Shamet.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for the Wizards' future. I'm glad that they got rid of Bradley Beal finally, and that saga's over with. They got rid of Porzingis. They're looking to kind of go younger with Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, and the pickup of Tyus Jones is great. If you watch the last pod, you know how big I am on Tyus Jones and how much I think he was great for the Grizzlies. But yeah, they have three. That's two guards and a good forward. And I know they have Denny Avita at the center rotation. But really, I think that's where they're lacking the most. If they can get another really good quality starting five from somewhere, I think there could be a sneaky team.
Yeah, it's cool. They blew their team up pretty much, but they don't have to go into this rebuilding stage. They still have talent there with Kuzma and Poole. It'll be cool. They'll be a fun team to watch again and see how much basketball they can win. All right, next we're going to be doing who we think our East MVP and East most improved team and player will be. Sam, who do you have for MVP?
For the MVP of the East, I think that Giannis is going to dominate again this year. I mean, hopefully, God forbid, there's no injuries or anything, but if Giannis is healthy, he's the scariest player in the league. And I think that he will have another great year.
I'm going to go out on a limb right here. I think Donovan Mitchell will have a huge year this year. He has a great team around him, and it's his contract year. He's going to try to get as much money as he can. This is probably his last huge contract. He's going to probably get a 5-year, 4-year deal. He's going to be getting up there in age. But he's going to go off this year, I think, and they're going to be a good seeded team. Who do you have for the most improved team this year?
Most improved team. Most people might be surprised by this, but I think the Indiana Pacers are going to be the most improved team this year. I like that they picked up Bruce Brown. I like that they picked up Obi Toppin. I think Halliburton's going to have another good leap this year. I think he's going to be good. And I think they make playoffs. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it.
I'm going to be going with the New York Knicks. I think they're going to be the most improved team. I just think they have a bunch of good culture guys from Villanova. They have a good core of Villanova guys that will be good. And they finally moved on for Obi Toppin, even though he went to Indiana. I just don't think his fit was that good. And they're going to be a fun team to watch. I could see them being a middle-of-the-pack team. Who do you think will be the most improved player in the East?
Most improved player this year, I'm going to give it to a guy on a team that has a lot of trade smoke right now, but I see a lot of potential in him, and that's Tyrese Maxey. I think he's going to have a huge leap this year. I think he's going to step up big time in Harden's absence. I think he could really step into that role of being Robin to Joel Embiid's Batman if he decides to stay, which I hope he does. Yeah, I have high hopes for Tyrese Maxey this year.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Wizards and Jordan Poole there. He's gonna have so much more opportunity on that
Yeah.
team. He's the go-to guy now. It seems like, and I just think he's gonna have a huge breakout year right here.
Hmm.
And see how he go when the lights shine bright on him. Let's see how he performs because right now he's been in the shadows on the Warriors for a while.
Hmm.
All right, so looking at the East, who do you think will be in the top 8 making the playoffs?
Okay, so my playoff picture in the East, it was hard, but I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. Um, the people I do not have in make playoffs is Detroit, Charlotte, Orlando, Washington. I don't think that these are two shockers, but I don't think that Toronto and I don't think Chicago is going to make the playoffs. And I also, as of right now, because the Dame trade hasn't happened, I'm going to say Miami doesn't make the playoffs. And I know that's kind of big because they were just in the finals, but I'm putting them outside of the playoffs right now without Dame. And as for the rest of my playoff picture, I got Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, Cleveland, Knicks, Brooklyn, Atlanta, and Indiana as my 8 in the playoffs.
Yeah, the only difference I do have the Heat making it, and I also don't have Raptors making it. But this is in order. I have the Celtics, Bucks, Cavs, Knicks, Heat, Sixers, Hawks, and Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Bulls right now they're gonna somehow sneak it in there, but they're not gonna go nowhere. Heat never kind of Jimmy Butler,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Knicks they're gonna be a middle pack. I could see Heat and Knicks switching. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just gotta see how it goes.
Who are your top 5 players in the East right now?
All right, I'd probably go Giannis, Embiid, Tatum, Mitchell, and Jalen Brown
Jalen Brown. So you have 2 Celtics in your top 5.
in the East. Yeah,
Wow.
overall.
Give me Andre Iguodala.
Wait,
No, that's interesting takes. That's interesting. Um,
who did I say?
I'll go ahead and give mine.
What was my top 5?
Yeah, so I'm kind of in a similar lane, except not. Um, so for mine, I have Giannis 1, Embiid 2nd. I still have a healthy Giannis over Embiid. I know he just won MVP. For my 3rd spot, I'm going to put Jason Tatum. I feel like he's done well to earn that spot. But I'm looking forward to see what he does this year. For my 4th spot, I have Donovan Mitchell. And for my 5th spot, I'm going to go Jimmy Butler.
I think Jalen Brown has the edge on Jimmy Butler right now,
What?
long term wise.
Yo, that's a take. So do you think if Jalen Brown was on the Heat this past year instead of Jimmy Butler, do you think they still go to the finals?
No,
but you'd put but you'd put him over Jimmy
I just
Butler?
can't copy you, man. All right, y'all. So that's all the time we have for today. Our next podcast is going to be about the schedule.
Yeah, NBA schedule.
It came out today. Our last episode was the Western Conference. This was our Eastern Conference. If you want to go check it out, it's on our YouTube and Spotify. We also have a TikTok that we post clips on, and Instagram and Twitter. If you want to go check that out, everything's on the bio.
And plugged at the end.
Yes, sir. And thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next episode.